next episode of Never Onside. Hi, this is Joseph, and I have along with me Mayur Chopdekar. We have always wanted to do this for the past 2 years, but finally, the things happen at the right time, we have to say. So let's welcome Mayur Chopdekar to the podcast Never Onside. Hi, Mayur.
Uh, Hi, Joseph. How are you doing?
I'm great. What about you? The new season
I'm
is
great
about to
as well.
kickstart.
Yes, so a good opportunity for us to start our podcast from here. We always wanted to do this, as you mentioned, and this is something
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to. So let's
Yeah, so
start with
what
our.
an year to start the podcast. Qatar World Cup is around the corner. We have the Premier League, the Bundesliga, and the League One starting this week, and we have, I guess, Serie A
Syria
starting
A
next
and La
week as
Liga.
well. Yeah,
Yes,
Serie A and La
yes.
Liga starting next week as well. So we have a lot to cover. For the first pilot episode, we'll start off with the Premier League. I'm sure most of our audience would prefer to have to start with Premier League because they would be avid followers of Premier League. And then we'll follow up with some Bundesliga and Serie A action.
Cool. Yeah. So to start off with, this year the Premier League is going to be very exciting. All the top six teams have genuinely added into their players and squads on quite a good level, and we can. Previous year it was very good. We already saw the top four fight coming up till the last week of the season. So this year also it should tense up more, and I am really looking forward to this season as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, so the thing is, last year we were looking forward to teams and how they would perform, but this year, because of the new additions and how the recruitment process has been for the teams, if you see, most of the teams have recruited very sensibly, at least in the top six sides, they have recruited sensibly. And I'm absolutely excited to see the new talent in store for us. We got a glimpse of some of the players in the Community Shield as well. Darwin Nunes with goal and in terms of FPL and assist, what you would call for assisting penalty. And we saw some runs by Haaland as well, but things are still in the making. So we would see a better output from him. I'm sure you would have seen the memes out there when Haaland missed an open post. But these things happen in football, and I'm sure he will start off the season well against Aston Villa, and followed by
West Ham,
Bournemouth.
West Ham.
Oh, West Ham, and then is they're playing West Ham. Cool, yeah. So we'll have to see how it goes. And so let's start off with some. Let's put Mayur on the spot here. What do you think about the top six? Who do you think will be in the top six?
So I before the City departures, I thought City was the most favorite to win the title because there was no weakness at all in that side, and one weakness which they had, which was a number nine, they fulfill it with two great players, as we saw them in the preseason as well as of now. But since the departures of Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, I was more concerned about Zinchenko being gone, and they haven't signed anyone on that left back side, and they were going for Kukureya, but again they haven't signed him yet as well. So I am a bit skeptical about City. I can see Liverpool may be giving them a very good competition as always, which has been for the past 4 years. But if I had to put my money on, I would definitely think that City has a bit of edge, but it won't be that easy. What everyone was expecting them to be after adding the likes of Haaland or Alvarez to their team, like everyone thought it's a cakewalk for them. But whatever everyone whatever everyone thought, I don't think it's that far off of a
It's
competition,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very close.
This year also we'll have a tight Premier League. That is
Definitely.
for sure. And with Mane leaving Liverpool as well. They've brought in Darwin Núñez, who looks good, who is different, stature to what Mane was, and that coupled with how well Diaz has done last year, we saw how good he was, how much he impacted the Premier League right from the start. Like he hit the ground running from the word go, and that means that we are in for a showdown this year as well. And if you look at Arsenal and Spurs and even United, um, you know, they have at least reduced the gap. They surely
I'm
must
not
have.
I'm not sure about United though, but I would definitely say that for Spurs and Arsenal, Spurs are my favorites to come in as third as of current standings and things. The recruitments they have done suit the Conte style perfectly. The wing backs which they have gone out and gotten in,
Yeah.
the likes of Richarlison, who is a player who can play in all three positions in front three, which they desperately needed because they will be playing in Champions League. Everything is well suited for Conte to do his magic and probably get the best result, that is the third position as of now.
Yeah. So you think City would go and win the title, Liverpool close second, and probably Tottenham third, and fourth would be who?
If Chelsea get all the rumor signings which have been like which have come in the media in the past 2 days, all those signings, I think there will be a very tight race for the fourth spot between Chelsea and Arsenal, because Arsenal have gone and done their business very early. They are a good team and they have set up like quite early compared to Chelsea, who has a new owner. Everything is still in the works, so they are not sure. But definitely, if they get all their signings which are rumored in the last 2 days, that is the likes of Tielemans, maybe Frankie De Jong, maybe Wesley Fofana. So there are quite three,
Yeah.
four players which I'm very uh, optimistic about. But still, I would give the favorite to Arsenal because they have already got their players. Arteta has had quite a lot time to work with the new players and get
And their
them into the
preseason was
system.
very good
Yes,
compared
very
to
impressive, very impressive.
Chelsea, who
Chelsea,
struggled a
yes.
bit initially. But I'm sure Tuchel will get things back on track as well. And finally, you think United will struggle again, adding to our mysteries now? Coming from a Barcelona fan and a Pep Guardiola fan, I would expect you to say that City would come first and United would come sixth. But I think there were some positive signs, except the fact that Ronaldo is quite not sure about what he wants to do, which might unbalance the team. But I think Eric Ten Hag has come out and has stood his ground to an extent about Ronaldo leaving early and the other players as well. He didn't mention Ronaldo explicitly, but still, you can. He showed his anger in the comments later. So it would be, a close top four battle that we are sure. It's between United, Chelsea, and Arsenal, and we are tipping Arsenal to at least Mayur is tipping Arsenal to edge top four, but I feel that it's going to be very tough for a young Arsenal side who would struggle towards the latter end of the season if there are injuries to key players. And people like Jesus has something to prove right now. So I've always thought of him as an on-off player. He would score 4 goals in one match and he would not turn up the next match. But definitely the talent is still there. And if Arteta can, switch on the right tactics and the mentality of Jesus, then I'm sure we would be in for a good season. At least Arsenal fans deserve that after all that they have been through. And within the next 10 years, I would say United would also uh, would want that, because we have also been through a lot recently. And hopefully Ten Hag is the right person. And at least in the pressing and how Martial, Rashford, and Sancho is playing, again, Martial and Rashford, I'm not sure about how they would play throughout the season. There was a there was a funny video of people calling Martial a mannequin. The mannequin is running. He just doesn't have any emotion. Like eventually, he's a good player, but again, we'll have to see, does he have the motivation to keep pressing throughout the 90 minutes, throughout the season? So that is another thing. But Sancho, we know he has the pedigree, but Rashford is also is also coming off a really poor season. And also, absolutely, the defense was in shambles last year as well. So we'll have
Yeah,
to see
just to
how it
add a
goes.
few points on the United part. So I feel why United might finish sixth is because whatever signings Eric Ten Hag wanted initially, United actually never got those signings, and Eric Ten Hag was of that kind, in that kind of a state where he was like either this player or no one. But United are in not that place where they can like be a chooser. Basically, if they don't get Frankie De Jong, then no one else. So that is where
Mm.
something where United might be lacking, because there are various options like Tielemans. Maybe Eric Ten Hag doesn't like the player personally. He likes Frankie De Jong
Mm.
more, which suits his system, obviously. But I feel you can't play your season with McFred in that
Yeah, in that
pivot position. So
holding
yeah,
and CM room. Yeah, yeah.
yes. So I
So
am
that
quite
is a
optimistic.
major. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite optimistic about your defense because I see Maguire and Lisandro as the starting centre backs, and you have a decent
Oh.
backup like of Varane and Lindelof. So I'm quite optimistic about the centre back. That is the only spot which I have. Like I would be very optimistic throughout the United team, where I'm more confident. Okay, the defense might do something. Like it is the more
Mm.
settled part compared to the midfield and forward part. So that is something I'm still happy about. But yeah, Lisandro is a very good defender. We all saw that in the last game which he played against, if I remember correctly, Rio Valladolid, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So
So
Malaysia was also
yes,
come in, and he's keeping the ball, he's pressing, and exactly what Eric Ten Hag wanted. And my other concern with United would be the right back slot, because Dalot. I'm not a huge fan of Dalot, especially his defending, because last year he must have considered a lot of chances. Like you could see explicitly that things were going bad on his end as well. But again, last year was a whole different thing because everyone was poor. So, what do you think about the relegation battle?
judging from Scott Parker's comments, he was very disappointed this team, and we have seen Fulham like losing players left, right, and center. So he's
Yeah.
not very happy about it. He was openly stating we are like few players short of the first team. In a recent friendly which they played, they only named 16 players, comparing the like
Mm, yeah.
starting 11 plus only five or
Yeah.
six players on the sub bench. So he was not very happy. So if they manage to sign, then they might just edge it. But I'm for sure, I know Bournemouth is relegating, and they will be the Norwich of last year. So,
Yes.
uh, that is for sure. They don't have the quality which I feel for Premier League. And then maybe Fulham, if they don't get their signings, Fulham will be my second team to look out for.
Mm.
Uh, uh, from
Brentford,
Nottingham
what do you
Forest,
think about Brentford and yeah, all three teams who got promoted have a decent chance of getting relegated.
yes.
Let's leave it there. But other than that, what do you think of Brentford and Leeds? because Brentford has lost a huge player, someone who
Christ-
was a maestro in their midfield, who controlled everything. I remember the Leicester match in which Leicester were absolutely bossing them everywhere except in the place where Ericsson was playing. So that was the only world-class talent they had actually, other than Tony is also a decent player. So
Yeah.
that and
So
Leeds.
yeah.
Yeah,
So last year we saw before Ericsson, Brentford played very well, but they couldn't get the final product. But they still managed to be amongst like the 13th, 14th, or the 15th place. They weren't playing very well, but they were managing. So I'm still confident about Brentford. Talking about Leeds, coming from uh, Bielsa, such beautiful football and everything, to Jesse March, who has been
Marsh.
playing not such beautiful football, and I can clearly see Leeds fans are not very happy the way they are playing. But again, I feel they could be safe as well. I am amongst the teams who are there from the last year. I feel Everton and Southampton for some reason are two of my favorites who could be looking at that 18th spot here and there. I don't know Frank Lampard, who lost to a MLS team out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
they did. They
Yes.
did.
So I'm not sure, Frank Lampard, they have gone to get one or two signings, but let's see how that comes out, because last year also they struggled quite a lot with, again, with their key player Richarlison, and as per news came out today, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is also someone
And
who
McLuhan is
might be
injured. Yeah,
missing, yes, a
yeah.
few games. So let's see. I'm very worried about Everton, and for some reason Southampton as well. I'm not very happy with the way they have gone on, and I went to through some forums of Southampton fans, and I clearly saw the fans again, they were not happy with the recruitments and things. They are very short on center backs as well. So those are my two teams who could struggle for that 18 spot here and there. So those are my two picks which could struggle.
Yeah, so Everton under Frank Lampard and the Goodison crowd really pushed them through, and they escaped narrowly from relegation. But this time it's going to be tough because they didn't have the best of pre-seasons, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin being injured for the start of the season is a big blow for them. Richarlison as well. But they still have a couple of good talent in their squad. But can Lampard galvanize that and do what they did in the last part of the season throughout an entire season? That is the big question. And also Leeds, they've lost two of their maybe their best players in Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. So that is actually a big blow. I know Calvin Phillips did not play much of the season last year, but if you pick two people from that side, it would be those two, and they have lost those players, and I don't think they have brought in enough talent to replace those two. So we'll have to. So Leeds is a wait and watch thing because they have always been. So that is the main part from Premier League. Um, what else do you want to discuss?
Uh, Now let's move on to the two other two leagues which are going to start from the this upcoming week, apart from Premier League.
Yep. So I'll start with the Bundesliga.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bundesliga. I was reading an article from the analyst recently, and so this is how it goes. England, Spain, Italy, France, Portugal, the Netherlands, Austria, Scotland, Russia, and Germany. These are the top 10 leagues in Europe. And nine of the top 10 ranked leagues in Europe has never had a team win 10 successive league titles. So basically, except the German Bundesliga, the nine of the top 10 leagues has never had a team winning 10 successive seasons. That is the best intro to what we would want to discuss in Bundesliga, because there is only one favorite, to be honest. But then we have Dortmund, who it's customary to discuss as a title race, to bring in two contenders. So, um, so Bundesliga has lost two of their most prolific strikers, I would say. At least Lewandowski was. And I was reading a stats that in the last 3 years, he has scored a goal in every 74 minutes. And he has been scoring 40 plus goals in some seasons and is a huge part of that Bayern side, and is pivotal to their success as well. And before him joining from Bayern, were not scoring that many goals. From 2014 to 2019, Bayern scored over 90 goals, once in five Bundesliga seasons, and once Lewandowski started dominating things over the past 3 years. They have scored 100, 99, and 97 goals in the past 3 years. And the key difference here is clearly Lewandowski, who went from one of the world's best striker to perhaps the best player on the planet, according to the analyst. So that is a huge blow for Bayern, but I would say they would still win the Bundesliga because they have the talent in their squad, and the front four or front three would be Sane, Gnabry, Mane, and you would have Muller as well. Mane, we know his what all skills he has in his repertoire. Also, Gnabry scored 14 goals last season, and Sane also, we know how talented he is. Muller is kind of an assist king right now, but he can also come up with the goals when required. So, basically, the Super Cup happened recently, and Leipzig got thrashed initially, and then they pulled back to 3-5. Uh, that shows that the team is well grounded. Even with Lewandowski going, they would have a different system. They wouldn't have someone scoring 40 plus goals for them, but the goals will be distributed all around their front three. I think they will be more flexible, and like the how the Super Cup match showed, they would rely on counter attacking as well, because they have got such speed in the front three. And Mane has slotted just right in. Had it not been for the offside, he would have scored two goals.
Yes.
Yeah, so he would play in the center if required, and would probably play in the center, judging from what we saw in the Super Cup. So Borussia Dortmund is the the contender, which you would say, who would eventually come out second best. They have lost Erling Haaland as well. He is a big name, but wasn't there throughout the season last year. But they did well without him, we would say. And basically, they also have signed Karim Adeyemi uh, um, in their ranks, and they also have a very very talented squad with Bellingham, Malen being there as well. And they are also a team which has good leaders in their ranks with Ruiz, and Bellingham also is a very good leader. He's the backbone of that team right now, because he is performing when required. Yeah, so the opening match between in the Bundesliga would be between Frankfurt and Bayern. Frankfurt, as you all know, would be This match would be between the last year Europa League winners and the 10th time champions,
Hmm.
successive champions, Bayern Munich. And this being in Frankfurt Stadium would be an interesting match because they are also a side who can come up with the goods when required because they were the UL champions as well. So I'm sure we would see a good contest in the first opening match. And another match to note in this Bundesliga weekend would be Dortmund versus Leverkusen. Leverkusen is also a good side. Your top four would be Bayern, Borussia, Leverkusen, and maybe Leipzig would uh, would would be up there in the top in Bundesliga. So that is also something to look out for this season and this weekend as this. Yeah. So what is happening in the Serie A?
You mean the League One? Syria is supposed to start next week. League One will be starting this week. So, as you might know, I'm a Barca fan. So, I obviously watch PSG very closely because one of the best players plays in that team.
Used to
In the
play in that
last, used to
One of the best players used to play in that team, right?
no plays in that team. So Messi, of course. So I watch that team closely. So that's why we'll start with League One. That is the only team which I'm familiar with, which I see on a regular basis. And last year also, I saw most of their games. And at that time, we saw Pochettino wasn't able to use Messi the right way, so he struggled. We all saw the stats. He couldn't score. He only scored 6 or 7 goals in the league and everything. And Mbappe, sorry, basically carried the scoring and assisting. Was first on the tables. So this season they have signed in Gaultier. Uh, those who are unaware, who is he or where, what is his background? Tifo Football has made a 10-minute video explaining his whole background, so you can check out that. So we won't go in detail about that, but hopefully that is the answer from PSG bosses to get their ever desired CL trophy. So I'm not sure whether that will be the right man, but that is the man who Nasser Al Khalifi has chosen for this season. So he basically, who is Galtier in a short, he came into limelight when he won the Copa de Ligue in 12-13 and was the manager of the year in France football circuit. And he shared his award with then coach of PSG, Carlo Ancelotti. So that is when he came into the limelight and everyone was very impressed with him. Then eventually now he has made his way up to uh, being the PSG boss. So his main tactical setup then was to be defensively solid and his swift transitions. So that is what has been his main tactic throughout all his career teams. So you can see in Lille, you can see in Olympiacos, everywhere. So that is what he has been known for. And basically, PSG is known for conceding goals at silly moments. They can score 3 goals, 4 goals, but they can't even keep a lead. So that is what they're always known for. During the last season, also they conceded various goals. So this is the area where they have to get into, get better. So that's why this season his favorite system is generally 4-4-2, but the number of players which suit, there are two wing backs, Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, who both are known to go and attack. So again, there are quite a few number of people who he likes to keep back, but still defensively solid. He wants them to be sitting back, soak up the pressure. But Hakimi and Mendes has a different kind of style. So this time he has gone with 3-5-2, basically 3-5-2, or in position 3-4-1-2, where three centre backs, Kimpembe, Ramos, and I forgot his name, Marquinhos, Kimpembe, and Ramos were his main three centre backs. Marquinhos is a very good ball player. Even Ramos is a very good ball player. So his main technique is he invites the other team to put pressure on them, and then he depends on his quality centre backs to put a good few passes, put the ball up to Messi, and then Messi can look for the ever running Mbappe, Mendes and Hakimi, who are known for their speeds. So that is the main system which we have seen in this preseason, which he has implemented, and he has given freedom to Messi to roam around. And if you might have followed PSG, Messi has been scoring in almost every game or assisting, and he has shown his form from Barcelona back. So he has definitely in the preseason took the right steps which Pochettino clearly missed on last season. He has improved defense. He has looked for Messi, made Messi more available, which obviously ties up with Mbappe scoring more goals, Neymar scoring more goals. So he has done the basic things right, and definitely uh, PSG fans weren't very very PSG fans weren't very uh, not very informed about him, or were not very confident on him. But he definitely, since the preseason games, quite a few fans have trusted, like have now their faith in him, and they are looking forward to this season, and hopefully they can get their most desirable trophy, CL trophy, this
Mhm.
time around, hopefully. So that's it for PSG.
Is there anyone else in League One who can?
So as of now, I don't see, because last season, even though they struggled throughout, but all the other competitors which were supposed to give them a fight were struggling, because you might be aware League One is struggling financially, so there are not very good people coming in except for PSG, not very good players who can challenge the depth and the talent which PSG has. So
Mm.
unfortunately, as of now, there is no one. But eventually, if we could come back to this after maybe 2 or 3 game weeks, when we have seen more teams, how they play, how they are going about, and how can they compete with PSG.
Yeah. We have covered the agenda of the pilot podcast. We have gone right from the Premier League to Bundesliga to League One, and I'm sure you all had fun time joining us. And the Fantasy Premier League season is also around the corner. The deadline would be on Friday night, IST. So make sure that you don't miss the deadline, and we have a channel for FPL content as well, especially on Twitter, called the DFPL Girl, which was a venture we started when we were both in college. And we'll leave the link for code, the
For
code
the fan.
below on the description. Okay. So that's it from us. This is the Never Onside team signing off.
Thank you.